about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not
Hello
ready.
friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel, here with my May mid-month wrap-up. So I'm cutting myself off on Saturday because I've already read 17 books this month, so we need to cut ourselves off just a little bit, because I feel like otherwise I'm gonna be having an even longer mid-month wrap-up. So we are 17 books into the month. In my mid-month wrap-up, so we're just gonna go through all the books I read so far this month. We'll talk about them, give you a little summary, my thoughts and feelings, ratings, etc. And then at the end of the month, I will come back with full stats of what I read and how much I read, pages, all that fun stuff. So let's get right to it. So first I finished Stolen by the Scottish Rogue by Madison Fay. I give this 4 stars. This is part of her Kilts and Weddings series. I read the first book a few months ago. I really liked it, and I'm trying to like pace them out because there's only so many in this series and I'm really enjoying them. It's about a group of friends and them each finding love with different heroes that we all meet in the first book or hear about in the first book. And yeah, it was a really fun. I highly recommend this series. If you're interested in trying Madison Fay though, just an FYI, you could not buy her on Amazon. You do have to go to her website or to the Eden bookstore to buy them. I will leave a link down below for you if you're curious. But this is a very just quick smutty novella. I started at the end of April and it took me like an extra day to read it because I kept falling asleep at night through no fault of the book. It's just like, that's my habit, right? I read before bed and then I pass out. And yeah, I really liked this. It was just so fun. We followed a heroine who is going to be forced to marry this really crappy old guy whose wives have all mysteriously died, and then she's kidnapped by the Scottish rogue and taken off to his island, and you know, they get married. And they live happily ever after, and she doesn't get stuck with this like awful old man. Then I read Dreams of a Dark Warrior by Crossley, which this is the 11th book in the series, or 10th, I don't know. I read these out of order for this last live. There is a reading vlog where you can watch me read all of these and react. I gave this 3 stars. This is Declan's book and he continues. Declan, I love Regan, but Declan is my least favorite hero in all of the Immortals After Dark that I've read. There's one book I've never read and I will read for the first time for our read along. But yeah, I just don't love Declan. I don't think he does enough to redeem himself. I don't think that the storyline of him being reincarnated works for me because of who he ends up as and all the things he does. I don't want to spoil it too much. Again, check out that vlog if you're really curious. I also read Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo because of course I did. I was on Nicole's channel who picked this book for their Wednesday night book club live show. I'll be on the next 2 as well. So I'll be on the Wednesday after you see this, and then again in June. So I signed up for like three weeks in a row because I was like, I want to read all of these. So here I am reading them all. So yeah, this is Leigh Bardugo's finale in the Nikolai's story / that situation. I gave this 3.5, 4. Again, I love Leigh Bardugo's writing. Certain parts really tore me up, but I also felt like it just, something was missing. Something was missing. I think that something was more plot, and yeah, but it's beautiful. I love this edition. I mean, I wasn't not gonna buy it and I wasn't not gonna read it. I just was a little disappointed at the end of the day in how this all worked out. I'm happy with how the story closed for the most part. I just didn't, some of the in-between pieces were just not it for me, is basically what happened. I don't want to go into too much spoilers because this is a new book, but I'm happy to discuss it with anyone who wants to. You can also check out that live show where we do spoil the book in full and kind of give our thoughts that, you know, it's a whole lot of pages with not a lot happening. Next, I finished my last 2 books for the Immortals After Dark read along for this last month, which is Demon from the Dark, which is Malcolm and I cannot think of her name. Anyways, it's her book, Cara. Malcolm and Cara's book. I really like this one. I gave it a 4 star. I think that it's a fun, like, weird portal romance. Malcolm's like a just very like sweet hero for Crossley, honestly, like much sweeter than we're used to from her, and I enjoyed it for the most part. It just, I think after Declan I screwed myself because I read these out of order kind of. And then I read Lothar by Crossley Colt as well, which I gave 5 stars to. I didn't love Lothar the first time through because I read these in order, and I actually think that like that hurt Lothar for me because I was still so angry over Declan that I gave it 3 stars, but on my reread I gave it 5 stars because I just felt like Lothar was such a breath of fresh air, and he is 100% only kind of good because he has Ellie, and I love just the whole idea of him and like going to Appalachia to get her and like sometimes having to go back there. Like this hundreds of years old vampire being like, oh, I gotta hang out with these people. And I say that with love because I have been to Appalachia. My parents have lived in that area. They live in that area again now. I have friends from that area. Like it's different. I don't know how else to explain it, but it is a very different region of the South. And you know, it's just a funny thought. I don't want to like give too big of plot summaries on IID again, since I have the vlogs and the lives. I feel like I talk about this series a lot. All right, next we have To Love Jasonthorne and To Hate Adam Connor by Ella Mays that I read. I'm just going to group these two together and talk about them as kind of one book since they're part of a series. So book 1 follows Jasonthorne. This is a brother's best friend romance. And this actually worked really well because the brother situation didn't come into the very end when they had their own like misunderstanding, and then the brother was like, I'm gonna kick your ass, which was fine because they again had a misunderstanding and it made sense that the brother was like, I'm gonna kick your ass now. And yeah, it didn't really like focus overly much on the fact that like it was her brother's best friend. She is a writer. She writes romance books. One of her books is getting optioned. He's going to star in it. He's a big movie star. And then they have a marriage of convenience to save his image. It's very cute. Very, very sweet. I really, really liked it. And I think this was just a solid romance. I gave it a 4 star. I really, really liked it. And then immediately I had to read To Hate Adam Connor because we get a little preview of it at the end of Jasonthorne. Content warning on Adam Connor though. We do have pregnancy and some discussions around that in this book, so maybe not for everybody. Just a heads up. I know some people who don't want to read about pregnancy, so I just want to tell you about that now. I didn't see any content warnings for this. So this one follows Lucy, who is our heroine Olive in the first book's best friend, and she is living with Jason and Olive, and Adam Connor moves in next door with his kid, and this is a single parent romance with a kind of crappy parent situation for both Lucy and the child that Adam has. Adam's not the bad parent, it's the mom. Anyways, it follows that like Adam getting a divorce from his ex-wife and trying to get custody of his kid, and Lucy kind of nannies for them and is like creeping over the edge to get a peek at him, and it's very, very funny, very goofy. Again, just a good time all around in these books. I blew through both of them in about 24 hours each without even trying, and I had a total blast. I really, really like Ella Mays' writing right now in these books more than I did when I read Marriage for One. So if you read Marriage for One and didn't like it and haven't tried some of these other ones, I definitely would give them a try because I do think they're better than Marriage for One, personally, for my reading. Then I read Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler. This was also a 4-star read. I had a lot of 4 stars so far this month. And this is an ARC. I got an audio and an e-ARC. So I listened to the audiobook and I checked the e-ARC a couple times. Like I switched back and forth a few times. But this is a great YA contemporary romance featuring a bi heroine. She is just amazing. So she has a summer fling with a girl out at the Outer Banks and then goes back to New York. I don't think it's a city. I think it's like upstate New York or something. I don't remember. Anyway, she goes back up north and the girl shows up at her school on the first day and she didn't know she was coming. And the boy she's had a crush on forever approaches her and wants to date her. So she is torn in this place of figuring out who she wants to be with, who she is, and figuring out like what it means to be bi and how that works for her. Content warning for some biphobia in this. I just really loved this. I loved how it explored identity and discussed identity in a way, and also just like was really chill about it. I mean, again, we do have some biphobia in this book, but it was never like just constant. Like it was one moment, and it just felt like a lot of an internal struggle happening of like, how do you come out to people and how do you tell people, and I don't know, it felt really identifiable and like just such a nice situation overall. And I really loved this. It's so cute, and this cover is just stunning. So yeah, I loved that. Then I read When She's Ready by Ruby Dixon. This is on Kindle Unlimited and part of her Reestaverse book series I'm starting finally. And this was so fun. This is a quick novella, very quick. And it took me like 2 nights again because falling asleep, but once I read it, like once I got to reading it and was like awake enough, I just finished it that night. This was super fun. This features a farming planet in which these women are trying to find mates so that the people there stop trying to kidnap them. Like force them into marriage kidnapping, not like where people are trying to steal their farms because they're not married, so they're trying to find protection in marriage or through marriage. So she has a guy that she's gonna marry who's kind of on the run from a prison planet that he was like wrongfully captured because of a war, and they get married, and he's kind of like an ice planet barbarian style alien, it sounded like. And yeah, it was just really cute, and it was very like, I mean, it's under 100 pages. It was such a fast read, but I really loved it, and I thought it was super fun. I also thought it was, you know, I love a Ruby. Like if you like Ruby Dixon, you're gonna like this. Again, just it's one of those like you just want to like be in her world, and that's how this was for me. Then I read Twisted Love by Anna Huang, which I keep saying Chong because the character's last name is Chen in the book, and I keep wanting to add it as C, so apologies in any other video in which I said Chong and not Huang. Anyways, beyond the point, this is another brother's best friend / morality chain, which is one of my favorite tropes and very hard to find. And he is a bad person, kind of, our hero, but he wants to be good for her. He doesn't want to make her mad or upset her. And this is a light dark romance. We do have like witnessing murder and blood and kidnapping and all those things on the page, but it's not done to the heroine necessarily by the hero or anything like that. It's more in their lives it's happening. This was such a good brother's best friend. So the brother goes off to school in Costa Rica for like a year abroad to do like a medical thing, and he asks his best friend Alex to move in next door, well, to keep an eye on his sister Ava, and he ends up moving in next door, and he is the grumpiest of grumps, okay, like so grumpy, and she is pure sunshine and has some like memories that she doesn't remember, and the book is following her figuring out what actually happened to her when she was a kid. It's bad, but like again, some content warning: suicide, parental abuse, murder, kidnapping, a lot of stuff. And it's a pretty spicy book, honestly, because like it doesn't have a lot of sex scenes in them, but the ones that are in there are great. I will take quality over volume, like quality over quantity with these kinds of books too, and these are definitely high quality, getting down to business books, situations in this book. Yeah, so this follows that, and it's like her slowly just like unraveling him, and y'all, it's so good. This is like a solid 4.5. It may actually end up being a 6-star because I keep thinking about how much I love this book. But we'll see. We also get a setup for what looks like to be the next book, which is going to be A Princess and a Bodyguard, and I'm just super here for it. And I love this brand, this type of dark romance where it's dark, but like we're not watching the heroine be attacked necessarily by the hero or things like that. Next, I read a bunch of mangas, so we'll talk about a few of those real quick, and then I will finish up with the, so yeah, we're gonna have like some of the mangas I read and some of the regular books. So I also read She's My Knight Volume 1, which I got an arc of from Kodansha, and this was a really cute shoujo manga. This follows a guy who's like a little bit shorter than the heroine, and it's about them like having these really cute like shoujo manga moments together. But he's like in the girl position in the like embraces and things that happen, and it's just very cute. It's them kind of having a friendship burgeoning on crushes on each other. Volume 1 was adorable. I definitely want to pick up Volume 2 at some point. I gave She's My Knight 4 stars. The Honeyblood Beauty and Her Vampire Volume 1 I read, I gave that 3 stars. Okay, so I really liked this, but this is not one I feel like I can rec to everyone or to a lot of people. So first things first, like this is weird, okay? Like it's a weird one. So she is a human that has like special blood that vampires find very desirable. So she has a vampire bodyguard, and he's like really cute, and all the girls in the school want to flirt with him, and she kind of has a crush on him but is like kind of in denial about it. and it seems like he has a crush on her, but also there's this twist at the end I don't want to tell you because like even though it's only volume 1, it's quite the twist. But yeah, she like she feeds him like small bits of her blood every day for payment, and he just protects her constantly. It's pretty gory, not like Chainsaw Man gory or some of the other stuff, but like it's pretty gory for what it is. And I left volume 1 going, huh, this is really different, and it's either going to be amazing when I read the next 2 volumes or I'm gonna not continue. Which one? Who knows? We'll find out. Then I read The Hardest Fall by Ella Mays. I'm not joking. I literally am almost done with her backlist now. I went on a whole marathon. It's been a weird one. This is a high school? No, this is a college romance. This is with a I think he's a quarterback. I don't know. Anyways, he plays football, and she has a really awkward meet cute with him in which she walks into a bathroom and he like has his pants down and is going to the bathroom. So awkward. And then they keep almost or kind of running into each other on campus for like the next 2 years. And then eventually she comes home to her apartment and he's in her apartment because this person that she gets the apartment through told him he could stay there. And we follow the two of them slowly falling in love with each other, and it's very, very cute. There's a lot of drama in this one. I gave this one a 3.5 versus a 4. I didn't like it as much as I liked the other two, but it was still really, really cute and really fun. But again, I just think that some of the drama with it, I can't tell you too much, was just like, it's fine. I could have done with something different. But that's just me. Like, it just felt like drama I've read before. Then I read Thigh High Volume 1. So this is a manga I gave 4 stars to, and I don't think I recommend this to a lot of people. But if it intrigues you from the cover, go for it. This follows a whole group of guys at a high school that dress in the girls' uniforms style, and it's an all-boys high school. They also wear undergarments that are for women, and it is really, really funny. It made me laugh quite a bit. It's very, very cute. I'm very curious to see where Volume 2 goes, but again, if the cover turns you off, don't pick it up. It's not going to be for you. I personally just thought it was really fun. Then I read Nina, the Starry Bride, Volume 1. This follows a girl who has been kidnapped to pretend to be someone she's not because the other person was killed on accident, and has to assume an identity of the princess. And she is being trained by the prince, and there's like a connection there happening, and she's going to be married off in a few months to someone else to like save the kingdom. And it's all about her learning to fill this role, which again, this is one of my favorite tropes. I love when you have to like pretend to be somebody else. I don't know why, I just think it's really fun. And yeah, this hits that spot for me perfectly. So I'm really, really enjoying it. Then I read Volume 10 of Comet, Can't Communicate, which I also gave 4 stars to. And I did enjoy this volume a lot more than I've enjoyed the previous volumes. And I've got Volume 11 to read today, like this weekend, and then I will be taking a break for a little bit from Comet for probably another month or 2. But Comet follows a girl who can't communicate, literally, like she can't talk to people. And we, in Volume 10, we've changed grades, like we're into a new school year. So there's new people for her to meet and befriend. And she has her friend Tadano who helps her communicate with people, and she has a crush on and he has a crush on her. And it's a very cute little like side romance plot happening. But it's gotten, like, it was getting like really, really repetitive when I read a bunch of volumes in a row. So if you want to check out Comet, I do recommend you try it, but just take your time reading it. Don't marathon through 10 volumes. I think I marathoned like 7 or 8, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Then the last book I finished last night was Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I gave this 4.5 stars. I'm like waffling a little right now. It's probably gonna be a 4.5. This was so good, y'all. I'm so mad at myself it took me this long to read it, but it's also okay. I did finally read it. This follows a really interesting world that I will say suffers in the beginning. I was watching Marina's, My Name is Marina's, a TikTok. She was talking about this book, and I full-heartedly like agree with her on this. It, for its own like, to its own detriment, the plot in the beginning and the world building is like so dense, but also not dense enough. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's just not there. Like there's something missing. So you're like kind of lost because there's a lot happening, but you're also like, what the fuck's going on most of the time? But I still really, really liked this. I think it's really, really cute. Bree is our heroine, and she finds out about this secret order that is basically like the Kings of the Round Table situation, Arthurian legends, and she ends up training to become a squire. and we find out about another group that is based among the African-American people who came over as slaves kind of happening, and there's a magic within them, and it's two different kind of groups of magic, and there's a bad guy, and it was so good. It was so good. Like, once I just like blocked out the like world building that was confusing me, I was in and I was hooked. I did not want to put this book down, and then I finished it and I was just like, oh, I have to wait. But I'm excited because I'll reread it to read the sequel. I'm positive, because it was so good. This was just such a unique setup and world building. I also really enjoyed that it took place at UNC Chapel Hill, which is not too far away from where I live right now, and like talked about things in the South, like in the Carolinas specifically, that cracked me up, like Bojangles and just things that, like, you know, it's obvious Tracy's from the area, which when I looked her up, she is. But like, it's just cute to be like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, you're getting it. You got it's like reading a book set in Georgia that doesn't have a Waffle House. It's like, what's going on here? So this just felt good because you're like, yeah, you are from the region and you get it. And it just felt really refreshing. I've not been in a big YA fantasy mood lately, but this is the kind of YA fantasy I want, which means I need to read Raybearer like ASAP, because I think it's that I'm not in the mood for certain kinds of YA fantasy that are kind of like the usual that we get. I'm in the mood for stuff like Legendborn that is just so different that I'm like loving it. So that is all the books I read so far this month. Let me know if you're gonna pick any of them up or if you've read any of them too and liked them. If you don't want to do that, drop a sunshine emoji in those comments for me, because I am about to go outside. Also, you can find links to every single book I talked about to both Amazon, and then if it's a manga, I will also link to Right Stuff. It's available physically for you down in that description box, and links to be my friend anywhere on the internet if you want to do that as well. And I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.